Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. I have this gorgeous Christmas card to share with you today. It's a snowman and it's a really simple little card. I think it's so cute. Yeah, the little snowman sitting here on his little snowbank, and this actually is glimmer paper. It glitters. I think you can sort of see it in the camera. It's not the easiest to pick up. Very difficult. There you can sort of see some of the glimmer. And then I've heat embossed my sentiment. And he's just so cute and sweet, don't you think? So, let's get started and make another one, because I definitely want to send a few of these out this Christmas. So, let's start with our lovely little snowflake setting. And this is a piece of Pacific Point cardstock. I've used the snowman dies to cut this out, and this is the die I've used here, as you can see, to cut the frame out, and as part of the snowman dies that we're going to use. And the reason I've done this is because I do want to do some heat embossing later, so I've already cut that out. But let's start off with some simple stamping first. So let's get some bits out. Here I've got a scrap piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm just going to pull out my blocks. I should have got this ready, but you can see the stamps that we're going to use. This is one called Snowman Magic, and you have a lot of different pieces to your snowman here, so we can stamp all our little snowman and make him as cute as we wish. So I'm going to stamp a memento to get a nice crisp outline. So here is Memento Black, Tuxedo Black. And we're just going to stamp him here in the corner. Give it a good push down. There we go. And bring in our simple chamois. Now I really need to change the one here because I think it's on its last legs. You can see it's been well loved and used. I've had it for more years than I care to remember. But I think it's starting to actually, the foam is starting to rub off. I've had it for just that long. I've changed over downstairs in my craft room to a new one, and oh, it's lovely to be able to use a new chamois just the first time you use it. So let's see what bits we want here. We want his hat. We've taken his hat, and then we want his little scarf, which is here. There's tons of pieces to this stamp set, as you can tell. So I tend to like to use a block that's the size of my stamp, so I don't get as much over stamping. So let's do this. We're going to stamp his hat and his scarf in garden green ink. So let's get that done. There we go. Like that. I shouldn't have put the chamois away because I'm going to need it again. It's a bit silly of me. There we go. And then his scarf as well, because it's a little boy snowman, I've decided. There's the scarf. Lovely. Okay, so we've done with the garden green. And then let's see what else we're going to use. We're going to use some soft suede for his arms. And I've got here his little arms. And you can cut all of these out separately using the dies, which is what we're going to do later. That's one arm. I'm just putting these back in the case as I go along so I don't lose them, because they're such small pieces. And that's the other arm. There we go. So we're done with that. I think the last thing we need is our memento bag. And let's look and see what we've got left we can use. I'm going to use these for his buttons down the front. Now last time I did these too high and you didn't see anything, so I'm going to do them a bit lower this time. just like that, his buttons, so you'll still see them. And then we want to put a little face on him, don't we? We don't want him to be totally faceless. So let's see where we've got what we can use for his face. We've got sunglasses. Should we put sunglasses on him? I don't know. Decisions. I think I'm going to do the same as before, actually. Creature of habit. I like to see proper eyes and a nose, I think, on him. So let's ink that up. There we go. There's our little snowman. Lovely. So that is all our snowman bits. So we can put that away. And now I'm actually going to switch to my Stamparatus. Now for doing the snowman himself, it was easier, I found, to do it just using the blocks. And I tend to interchange between the two very freely and easily, as you'll see. But I want to stamp now my sentiment. And I want to stamp it on my piece here of Pacific Point. So I'm just going to place this in my Stamparatus where I want it. And for the birth, Merry Christmas, I'm going to use this one from Scotty Dog. Christmas Scotty it's called. So I want the sentiment, as you can see, goes above and below, but I want it to be next to each other. And we've done this technique before, masking. We've been looking at it actually now in November, and we've done this technique here of masking a sentiment. So we're going to just try it again here, and we're going to mask off first the Christmas, so all we've got left is the Merry, and then I'm going to put this where I think I want it on my. I'm going to take off some of this excess so that I can really place it nicely. That's it, that's better. Decide where I want it. That looks good enough to me. Now we're going to heat emboss, so I'm going to put down some powder here so we for the embossing body, so it only sticks where the Versamark is. And I tell you, my craft area looks already, even though you've just started like something's exploded. Now we're going to ink up our Merry with Versamark ink. Use a nice ink up. Take away our mask. Yeah, come back mask. And then we're going to stamp down just the Merry like that. Okay. Remove this from my Stamparatus, and then I'm going to use some white embossing powder just to emboss that. So I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to do exactly the same for the word Christmas, and I'm going to cut out my snowman using the dies, and I will show you the dies afterward. And once I've moved on to that stage, I'll see you. Okay, so we've heat embossed our sentiment, as you can see there. Isn't that pretty? And then I cut out all the bits for our snowman. So you've got him, his hat and his arms. So let's put our snowman together. I'm just going to get my silicone mat out so I don't, or I attempt not to get glue all over the place. I'm just going to use some Tombow, which is gunked up as always. I always forget to wipe the top. Okay, let's just put a little bit along the bottom here, and then put that at an angle on his head, more like that, and then scarf. You could pop these up on dimensionals, but I'm going to pop the whole thing up on dimensionals, so I didn't do that. Then a little bit of glue here for his arms, and you've got these little circles so you can actually make his arms even move. You could put a brad in and make them move if you so wished as well. And then one here, just move that a bit like that. There we go. So that's our snowman all made up. And one final touch, I've got here a pumpkin pie marker, and I'm just going to colour in his nose carrot orange. There we go. Okay, so he's ready to go. So let's put some dimensionals on the back of him. Let's find some dimensionals. Nothing left on there. Nothing left on that sheet. It's great. This is a mini one. Start on this one. It's good to finish up your dimensional sheets. Use them all up. Okay, so that is our snowman ready to go. Now we have here our base, and I cut here out of the glimmer paper. This is the glimmer paper. I don't know if you can sort of see the shine there. I cut out this slope using this basic borders die, and I use this one here from the basic borders die, and I'm just going to stick it behind our what's its name, our frame, and I'm just going to use some snail for ease because that's what came to my fingers first, and I'm just going to line it up here. As long as it's not showing at the edges, even if it is, it's not the end of the world. You can just trim off anything that's showing. So, but there we go. There's our border. Okay, very simple. Now I'm going to pop this whole back panel here up actually on dimensionals because I felt like it. And to do this the easy way, I'm going to use some of our foam strips. And most of the time these are much longer than this. I don't know why these ones I've got here are shorter. My other ones are really long. So I'm not sure why these ones are short. It might be that quite happens you get you do get adhesive with our kits. If you have a look online, you can see all the wonderful kits we have available, and I do run a kit club every month, and I don't always use up all the adhesive from the kit club, so of course I save it, and this might be some of the adhesive from the kit club, and that explains why it's a much shorter strip than our normal longer strips. But I'm just putting a little bit around the edges. Now this would be also, you could make this whole piece into a shaker pocket if you want to. That would look really cute as well. I'm just going to put a little bit more along here, along the top. You want the dimension to be even, you don't want it to sag in the middle. Okay, and one more. Sort of like that. So precise, isn't it? Okay, get rid of all of our dimensional stuff and put the lid back on here. I find if I don't put the lid back on stuff, I lose the lid. So, let's move our dies aside and bring back in our card base. Now our card base is Balmy Blue, and this is a standard A6 card base. So that's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And we're going to put down our panel onto this. So now we can take all these blessed backings off. At least they come off easily. Do you have any pet peeves that you don't that get to you every time? Mine is taking dimensionals backings off. Definitely drives me potty, but needs must. It has something that I like the effect, so really there's nothing to faff about, but there you go. Have you started to do all your Christmas crafting? Are you well into it by now, I hope? You should be. It's nearly the end of November. I've quite a few Christmas cards actually left over from last year, which I'm going to use. I'm giving to my mother to use up. It's also, it's nice not having to buy Christmas cards and just being able to send ones out that you've made yourself. It's more special. Okay, so there we have our base panel. So now let's put down our, let's see where we're going to put down a snowman. I also cut out from that same snowman die out of some soft suede cardstock some trees, and I'm going to decide where I want them now. Don't want them to be that tall, maybe. Just want it to be behind sort of my thing. Something like that. Maybe I'm just tearing off where I don't want the excess. Something like that. So let's just put a bit of glue on the back of these. Get this back in. Trying to keep the glue off my nice grid paper. I'm just going to use a few little dops and dabs of Tombow to hold this down. Okay, well that will do nicely. And we said roughly around here. Well, it's going to be roughly around there. Don't worry. The Tombow does give you a little wriggle room if you're not happy with the way things are. But I think that's going to look fine. So let's take these backings off. So, are you hoping for a white Christmas this year? Don't think I've ever had a white Christmas in all my 44 years on this earth. To be honest, in London, majority of the time, don't get a white Christmas, you know. And even though we've moved to Lincoln, don't really get snow at Christmas. You get snow after Christmas is when we tend to get our snow. So there you go. That's what we've got. Now just some finishing touches to make it really bling. I've got here some rhinestones, and I'm just going to attempt to pick them up. Obviously not having much luck today. I prefer to flick them about, it seems. Come on, rhinestoney. There we go. And I'm just going to put in the centre of some of the snowflakes here. I don't know why I don't want to pick up today. I just don't like me. Might be because I've got glue on my fingers that's causing a problem. Yeah, I can feel I'm sticking to everything as usual. Okay, there's one. And there's one more. I think that's going to be enough as good as a feast. I'm not going to tempt my fate with the rhinestones. So there you go. There are our two little snowman cards. What do you think? Aren't they just the cutest? Well, I think so, but then I'm biased. I hope you liked them. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know. And please don't forget to subscribe to future videos. If you want more information about the project, supply list, measurements, etc., it's all on the blog post. And the links to that and all my social media links are in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye!